Are you an emerging business leader? How would you like a full-ride MBA scholarship? It's possible. The Ivy College of Business is offering a full scholarship for one standout student in the online MBA. This first Emerging Leader MBA Scholarship will be awarded to one qualified candidate who is ready to start classes in the fall of 2026. Apply by May 15th. The link is copied below. Reach your full potential with the Iowa State MBA.
The Business Record News Headlines is brought to you by the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University, where world-class faculty, staff, programs, and facilities come together to deliver business education for a rapidly changing world. At Ivy, students gain more than a degree, they gain real-world experience and the confidence to lead in any industry. Welcome to the Business Record Iowa News Headlines podcast presented by the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University. This is your essential weekly briefing on local business news from across the state. I'm Business Record President Chris Conetzkey, here with my co-host, Business Record Editor Sarah Diehn. And we're starting our Business Record Roundup, reviewing the top 3 stories reported by the Business Record Newsroom that you might have missed over the past week. Sarah, go ahead and take it away.
Thanks, Chris. The City of Johnston is asking Ignite Johnston LLC, the developer behind a proposed youth sports and recreational complex, to repay more than $3.8 million in grants and fees after they defaulted on the development agreement and have failed to arrange for the city to purchase the property by February 1. Online court records also show 2 investors in the project have filed lawsuits in January against Ignite Johnston LLC, alleging the developer is in default of promissory notes. This comes after the developer's mortgage lender filed for foreclosure last fall, claiming the loan was in default. Currently, the development agreement with the city is still in place. Ignite Johnston co-founder Chad O'Meara said they are continuing to work with the city and others on paths forward that could result in completion of the project.
Capital Crossroads has released its 2025 annual report detailing cross-sector collaboration efforts in Central Iowa. Workforce, housing, and education remained focus areas last year, including efforts such as the launch of the Central Iowa Workforce Ecosystem Map and support for the reintroduction of the Early Childhood Education Program at Des Moines Central Campus. Community leaders also established new housing preservation resources, including a database tracking federally backed housing in Central Iowa and expanded outreach to engage emerging leaders in regional collaboration.
Market reports from area brokerage firms show demand for industrial space across the Des Moines metro remained strong in the fourth quarter of 2025, but developers focused on projects that were pre-leased or had a clear pipeline for occupancy. The Business Record reviewed reports from JLL, CBRE, Cushman & Wakefield, and Colliers and found that lease rates remained stable, but the strongest area of the metro for industrial activity continued to be the northeastern area, including Altoona and Bondurant. This includes the expansion of Wisconsin-based custom metal fabricator Robinson Inc. in Altoona. The company plans to lease about 560,000 square feet in a newly constructed building. You can read all these stories in full and more news at businessrecord.com. Next up is our statewide headlines with the news you need to know from across Iowa.
Radio Iowa reports that the Iowa Court of Appeals has denied Walmart's effort to cut millions in property taxes for its store in Marshalltown. The store sits on a nearly 25-acre site and is around 220,000 square feet total. The Marshall County assessor appraised the store at over $13 million in January 2023, which Walmart contested, saying it should be around $8 million. Walmart argued the county evaluation was not proper because it was based on the building being leased and not owner-occupied, but the Court of Appeals ruled in favor of the county.
The Cedar Rapids Gazette reports the Iowa City School District is anticipating about $6 million in budget reductions for the 2027 fiscal year, and more cuts in future years after spending more on salaries than it could afford. The Iowa City School Board last month retroactively approved a $10 million interfund loan made months ago without its knowledge. The loan from the district's health insurance fund covered anticipated deficiencies in the general fund, which largely pays staff salaries. School officials said a series of loans will be needed to correct the budget shortfall. The school board will review options for the 2027 budget at its meeting next week.
The Des Moines Register reports a new University of Iowa mapping tool shows how cancer patterns differ from one part of a city or region to another. Cancer data available to Iowans has long been reported at the county level, where entire metro areas and rural communities were often folded into a single county average. But the new tool uses statistical models rather than exact case counts to estimate rates at the zip code level instead of relying on typical county averages.
The state has opened applications for a new initiative aimed at recruiting and retaining medical professionals in high-need counties across Iowa. The Healthcare Professional Incentive Program offers income bonuses or federal student loan repayment to eligible healthcare providers who commit to practicing in underserved areas for set periods of time. The program consolidates 5 previous state incentive programs and targets 36 designated counties. $8 million in state funding is supporting the first round of awards. Applications close March 31.
Radio Iowa reports more people than ever before flew out of Iowa's 8 commercial airports in 2025. The Department of Transportation said more than 5 million passengers flew out of the airports, up nearly 5% from 2024. The state's top 2 airports in Cedar Rapids and Des Moines each saw record use last year. Data shows highway travel in Iowa was up slightly in 2025, and Iowa traffic deaths were at a record low of 259. The Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University is proud to introduce the Emerging Leader MBA Scholarship, a full ride opportunity designed to develop Iowa's next generation of business leaders. Full ride, full potential. Learn more and apply online at the link in the show description. That's our show for today, but before we go, we've got a couple things for you to take with you throughout the rest of your week. We're going to be announcing our 2026 40 Under 40 class today at 9 a.m. at businessrecord40.com and all our social media channels, so you can keep an eye out for that. Or if you're watching, of course, afterwards, please head there now and you can check out who this year's class of 40 Under 40s are. Lastly, one thing to know, in honor of Black History Month, the African American Museum of Iowa and the NAACP of Cedar Rapids recently teamed up to create a special pop-up exhibit that's open throughout the month that you can check out as well. Thanks for joining us today, and thanks to our sponsor, the Ivy College of Business at Iowa State University. Each week, you can count on us for a dose of balanced news with the context you need. If you enjoyed today's show, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next Wednesday.